Well, thank you so much for the privilege to have this opportunity to share just a few things with you this morning. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rod Hall. I'm running for the Utah State School Board of Education, District 3. And a little bit about myself. I've been married for almost 26 years, father of 5, got 2 beautiful grandbabies. I've had the privilege of serving our young people for the last 25 years as a youth pastor, and then 10 years as a teacher too as well. And currently I'm serving our military as an honorary wing commander of the 388th Fighter Wing on Hill Air Force Base, also serving our police as a police chaplain for the Salt Lake City PD, and praying for the opportunity to be able to serve this great state on the Utah State School Board of Education. Just a few things, and my time is short this morning. I've got some notes so I don't get off track. But I want you to know that parental rights are huge to us. And I believe that parental involvement is key in the education of our young people. And God has given a mandate to parents to educate and to raise up and to educate their young people. And I'm so thankful that we live in a state where the law supports that very thing. I had to put some things up here on the screen. You can take a look at that. But Utah state law actually says this. It says that parents are a child's first teacher and are responsible for the education of their children. And so the selection of education programs in the state of Utah was never intended to be done without the consent of the parents. I'm going to say that one more time. The selection of the education programs in the state of Utah was not ever intended to be done without the consent of parents. And because it was done without the consent of parents, in many cases we've now seen some ideologies that have made their way into our school system, and they're designed to divide and not to unite. These ideologies are designed to tear down and not to build up student or child-parent relationships. And as parents, we need to be informed. We need to be involved in the education of our kids and respectfully and graciously and yet boldly make sure that we hold the system accountable for what's being taught in Utah classrooms. And it's important that parents get involved and we do that. Our teachers, I want to praise God for our teachers. We have some great teachers here in the state of Utah. And many teachers are leaving the profession because of the things that have made their way into the school system here in the state of Utah. And many of our teachers have been muzzled and restrained with standards and policies and bureaucracy. And I want to empower our teachers to do what they love to do best, which is to teach the subjects that they're passionate about. I think that's super important, to be able to just go in and do that, not have their classroom swamped with a bunch of ideologies or a bunch of ideas that would distract and take away from what they're really there to do. Our schools need to be a place of education, not a place of indoctrination. And our teachers need the support of parents. They need the support of the staff to help empower them to command the respect that is necessary in their classrooms, to be able to provide an environment in their classrooms, number one, that's safe and that's suitable for learning at the highest level. It's so important that they can do that. And we as parents, we need to fight for our children. We need to fight for our teachers, the ones that we know we can stand with alongside our teachers. We need to go together and fight that war together with them. Our students, I want you to know that my top priority, and this is my heart, this is what I've done for the last 25 years of my life, my top priority is to help protect the hearts and minds of our students. It's so important. We're talking about the most vulnerable, impressionable, pliable, precious minds that need to be protected. And I'm sorry if I get a little bit emotional about this, but it's a real thing. It's a great responsibility for us to have to protect the hearts and minds of our kids. That's why it is so important that our kids hear truth, that truth is taught in our schools. Because what goes into our mind impacts our heart. What impacts our heart will come out in our life. And so I want to say this, no sensitive materials in our schools. I have no idea why this is even a debate. It makes no sense that it's a debate. No sensitive materials in our schools. We're not talking about getting rid of good books. We're not talking about getting rid of books that uplift and teach our kids. We're talking about getting rid of books that are filled with so much trash you can't even read them in a public forum. Let's get rid of that stuff in our schools. It's important. We need to focus on educating and building character with a call to excellence and developing resilience by challenging young people to once again achieve their greatest potential through hard work. Let me say, hard work is not a bad phrase. It's not a bad phrase. It's a good phrase. And that's what builds character, it's what builds resilience. And we don't need to dumb down the school system. We need to call young people to rise up to excellence and be achievers and become what they're supposed to become. I want to say this real quick before I get off of this. I think it's really important. For many, many, many years, we've been really focused on giving a handout. Let's help, let's do this, let's do that. And I think young people don't need a handout. We see what it's done. We've removed adversity. We've taken things away from them and not allowed them to go through any trials and tribulation, hard times. It's not built any resilience. And because of that, this generation's they're being labeled as the weakest generation. And so what our young people need is they need not a handout, but a hand up. They need somebody to reach down and help pull them up and walk through adversity with them and walk through trials and tribulations with them. And that's going to require all of us to get involved and all of us to step in. We have a college and career ministry here in our church, and it's fantastic. But we watched it grow, and we watched God bless it, and that's exactly what we've done. We've walked in, we've given young people a hand up and said, you know what? Maybe we took too many things away from you in the past. Maybe we didn't let you go through enough hard stuff in your life. Let us walk through this adversity with you and show you what it looks like to work hard and to accomplish and to become. And so what I'm asking from you this morning, number one, is for your prayers. We've never done anything like this before. God has called us into this arena, and it's a big deal, so we ask for your prayers. Number two, we would ask that you would consider giving us your support with your vote. And I believe that we live in the greatest state in the nation. This state is so unique, and the diversity that's here, and it's amazing. And don't let anybody tell you that there's a bunch of racism and all that garbage going on in the state. This is a great state. This is a great state. It's a great state. A lot of lies being told. A lot of things trying to infiltrate. A lot of lies being told. This is a great, look at this room. Just look around the room. This is a melting pot of everybody coming together. I'm so thankful for it this morning. And guess what? In order for these things not to come in and dominate, we have got to stand together. One of our slogan, on my logo, it says, "Together we stand stronger for Utah." And I believe that together we stand stronger for Utah. Listen, this will not be done unless we do it together. And I just want to challenge us. This election cycle is not just about me. It's about voting for men and women that stand for the values that made this country great. It's about voting for men and women that stand for right and that stand for truth. I'm talking about real truth, absolute truth, God's truth. It's about voting for people that stand for those things. And I want to encourage you. I hope you'll say this with me here today. We cannot do this unless we do it together. Together we stand stronger for Utah. Would you say it with me on the count of three? 1, 2, 3. Together we stand stronger for Utah. Let's do this together.